live, and she appreciates a broad range of musical explorations. She and I met Charly, and we played together in the late 80s, and we recently reconnected maybe a year ago and get together. And the earlier piece we played was improvised, and Charly and I get together once every 2 or 3 weeks, mostly improvised, and it's really wonderful.
That was beautiful.
She's amazing improviser. So it's a pleasure to be working with her. Charly is grateful to be with us this morning, and she is also curious and open to work with interested students. Please join me in welcoming Charly Drobeck.
What are we going to play next?
Okay. So we're going to go ahead.
I just want to say I'm dedicating the music I'm playing today to a family friend who passed away recently named Craig Colston. And his family may be live streaming with us, Cindy and Lloyd and Eileen and Michael. So this is a big musical hug for all of them, and may his spirit fly free.
And we're going to play a tune by the jazz trumpeter Freddie Hubbard called Up Jumps Spring.
Wow. What a great way to start the day.
Yes.
Not only is it great to start with beautiful music that just lifts you into a whole different stratosphere, but it's great to start the day with each other.
Yes.
And have an opportunity to explore new ideas and new experiences and freshness. By the way, for those of you who may have been gone so long you forgot, I'm Reverend Ann Ray, and I am profoundly blessed to get to be part of this wonderful community, to get to play together and pray together and say bless you together and celebrate together. I mean, how many celebrations we had this morning? My gosh, we haven't had that many celebrations in a while. That was really cool. So today we're wrapping up, if you can believe it, the month of April, pretty much. And this month I have been working with a favorite quote from Ernest Holmes from my original teacher in the Science of Mind. It was so much her favorite that she had it painted on the wall of the lobby in our center in Burbank. And it was, see the best. No.
See the good.
See the good. Thank you. I was trying to read it off the wall. See the good. Be the best and treat life with love.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're talking, thank you very much, Jean, because your reading and prayer, as always, was so perfect. We are talking about treating life with love. But first I want to talk about the wind.
Yeah.
And, oh boy, I wish you could be standing where I'm standing right now because I see every imaginable expression on people's faces. From to why do I want to talk about the wind?
Winds of change.
That's love.
Because wind is a great yes and yes, and wind is a great example of only seeing one side of something. It's a great example of only seeing one side of something because if we have a thing about the wind, and usually that thing isn't, it's like it's not our favorite, then we're missing the rest of the picture. And if we happen to enjoy the wind, then we're also missing the rest of the picture. What? What did she say? Wait. Because if I'm enjoying something, I'm missing the rest of the picture? Yes. Yes. So when we're enjoying something, when we're happy about something, when we're grateful for something, we aren't thinking about the people who aren't, who don't find whatever it is as yummy as we do. We are thinking about other people's perspectives. And I'm not talking about opinions here. I'm talking about life experience. And that impacts our compassion. Because compassion is understanding. Whether or not we understand. It's beyond an intellectual practice to a heart practice. So whether or not we understand, we can have compassion for people who are not happy when it's windy. And for some people, to say not happy is an understatement. I mean, for some people, actually one person in this room, it is frightening. The wind is frightening. Actually, two people in this room. The wind is frightening. So, of course, before I can go on, you all want to know on which side of the question I fall. So I'm going to tell you, I happen to like the wind. Because somewhere along the way of my life, I learned that the wind is our friend. Not only because it clears a bunch of stuff, I mean, sure, it moves a bunch of stuff around in a not so great way, but it also clears a bunch of stuff out, and it brings these fabulous, and Bob, if you're going to correct me, do it later. He's the physicist in the room. It brings these amazing electrons into play that otherwise would not be. So I happened to learn it was our friend. Do I have compassion for the people who absolutely cannot stand the wind?
Yes.
Absolutely. Of course I do. Because there doesn't have to be a because. My ideal is for everyone to be at peace in their body, in their soul, in their mind, in their world. And if that's not happening for someone, I have great compassion for that. It's not that I can fix it. My ministerial license and my ordination do not come with any kind of paperwork that says that I can fix what is troubling someone. What I know is in my heart, I can still and absolutely without question love them. I don't have to feel the same. I don't have to be having the same experience in order to share the world with an open heart and an open mind and an open being and be of the same view. And that is true about the wind. That is true about faith traditions. That is true about, dare I say it, politics. It's true about chocolate cake. It's true, period. It's true. We are here as vessels of love. We are here as conduits of love. If we are first aware that that is an opportunity that we have, because not all of us would necessarily see it as our job. We may have to take baby steps and wake up a little bit first and familiarize ourselves with exactly what it means to be present now. To be part of this life and this world right where we are. I was sharing with Patty earlier, before service started, that I saw the most wonderful meme this week. And it showed this amazing picture of the world. Really a beautiful, beautiful picture of the world. I don't know if it was a photograph or from, because you know they take photographs with telescopes. I don't know. But it was beautiful. And the meme said, in all the world, I met you. That's the opportunity we have, is to recognize that in all the world, where we could have met anybody else, and we probably did meet a lot of anybody else's. At least I did. That we met each other. Let alone like you two, where you get to be related. What a gift. What a joy to recognize the opportunity of that, and to recognize what a treasure it is to share someone else's space in this open and loving and gracious and compassionate way for even 5 seconds. So I have decided that this assignment that we all came in with, to be the arms and legs of love in the world, the voice of love, the eyes of love, is pretty great. In fact, I'm not sure there's anyone better than that particular one. And do you know that it's the easiest one to live, to embody, to activate, to release on our own wind, just by being in a space with awareness. Just by attending to what's happening around us. By looking in each other's eyes. By welcoming a smile or being the instigator of a smile. That's one of my favorite things. We are, no matter what else is going on, we are, not just us, all of life is incredibly blessed in ways that are not always easy to see, are not always easy to know, are not always easy to recognize. But we all, and that means all, have the opportunity to be the presence of love. no matter what. So let's say, for instance, that someone is having a conversation with you about, well, you could call it a conversation. Somebody is having a release of their deeply held thoughts and feelings about their political views. And I'm calling it a release because I've experienced some of these, I wouldn't call them conversations. I've experienced some of these with my grandson. I call it a listenation, but it's not because he's talking to me about politics. It's because he talks nonstop. Anyway, so someone is having a listenation with you about their political views, and they're very strident about it. You know what I mean by strident? They're very passionate about their views, and not so passionate about yours. Now, I may be the only one in the room who has had that experience. But either way, it'll happen. I'm here to tell you. What is our opportunity in that moment? What is our opportunity? It's an invitation that we might not otherwise recognize. It's like, okay, there are things about the wind where, damage is done and people are frightened and it kicks up allergies and it does all this stuff. But then there's this other whole side to the wind. This is no different. Our invitation always is to see beyond our differences and find a way to love. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to run up to that person with whom they and we so strongly disagree and throw our arms around them and just say, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you and I can't wait to get into another listenation. Eventually the listenation will calm down, because one of the things that stridency requires is a response. And if the response is simply being willing to hear without argument, without disagreement, without saying, how in the world could you ever believe such a stupid thing? Or anything like that. It has no place to go. Now, that's kind of unfortunate. And now we're back to seeing things from both sides. That's kind of unfortunate because the thing about that stridency is it needs a place to go. And it has no place to go. So what can that person do except try to give it to the next potential person willing to listen long enough to a point? It has no place to go. Part of our invitation, as I like to view it, is to give everyone a place to go. And it's not about this philosophy, although this philosophy certainly does that. And it's not about telling somebody else what they should believe. It's just about us treating the world with love. Treating the world with kindness. Treating the world with respect. Okay, so somebody else isn't being respectful, and I'm not going to be respectful back. Well, that's going to be a short trip. Because that's not what we're built for. That's not what we're built for. And no matter how accustomed we may have been to that kind of treatment or that kind of argument or that kind of energy or whatever it was in our early years or later or whenever it was, however it was, it's not today. It's not the person we are today. It is not the life we're living today. And it is not the choice we're making today.
Amen.
Says who? Says me. Because it's about time. Blankety, blankety, blank. Time. That we make a new choice. That we stand in our authority, in our loving authority, in our kind authority, in our gracious authority, in our generous authority, not our I'm the boss of you authority. Because that isn't working very well. Not my experience. So, what the heck? Why don't we try something new? Now, I'm not suggesting for a second that this isn't already what many of us are doing, or how many of us are being, which is more important than what we're doing. How many of us are being. But some of us may be having a little harder time working our way around other people's ideas. Get over it. Their ideas belong to whom?
Them.
Ta-da! You all get gold stars. I wish I had them literally to hang on everyone. Their ideas belong to them. Our ideas belong to us. What we know to be true for ourselves belongs to us. If someone else asks, what's going on with you? How can all this stuff be going on in the world and you still have a smile on your face all the time? I want to know what's going on with you. Well, then we can tell them. We can tell them that we see ourselves as the presence of love in the world. And do you want to know something? That is not something that can be argued with.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but that doesn't make it wrong. So here's your homework. Uh-oh. And it's going to be really hard. because there are those of us who still might think that stuff has to be hard to be worth doing or to get us anywhere. Well, you can get over that one too, but one thing at a time. Anyway, your homework for this week is to be the place of love, to be the presence of love, to be the arms and legs of love, to be the eyes of love, to be the smile of love. And let your compassionate heart take over the space that you're in. Just let it out. And let it just take over the space that you're in, and then leave it there. Leave it there like a wake behind a boat. This is what changes the world, my friends. This is what changes the world. This is what changes the world. And so it is.
And so it is.
I started to do what I ask our musicians to never do, which is, while the applause is happening, to walk away. And then I reminded myself, oh, that applause is for me.
Yeah. Hello.
Come on.
Okay, so now is our time for conscious giving, and if I could ask the ushers please to join me at the front. Conscious giving, circulation, however you see it, I have a nice reading for us today. So the quote is, "Giving away your money brings freedom." Why? Because it loosens the grip we have on things. It helps bring us into a greater level of faith and trust and redirects the focus from, quote, what we have to what we can give. And so it is in that spirit that I invite you to prepare whatever it is you're giving today to what can I give today? How can I be loved today in monetary form, in energetic form? And no matter how we give, whether it's online or on Facebook, which you're invited to do the Donate Now tab on our website, on the Zoom link. There's multiple ways that we can do that. But however we're giving it today, let's infuse it with our energy. That love, that kindness, that generosity that supports the Everyday Center, that ripples out in the wake of Santa Fe and to New Mexico into ways that we don't even know. But it is our generosity that starts that ripple. And so say with me, please, our sharing affirmation. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And so it is. Thank you. And so I invite you all to direct your energy, your attention to the baskets that we know are overflowing with the divine abundance that represents each one of us here today. And so it is in gratitude that the Everyday Center receives it. It is in gratitude and appreciation that we send it out. And we know that all are blessed because of our giving. And so it is.
So it is. Who am I giving? Carol?
Sure.
So we're gonna share a new song that I wrote Friday afternoon. Charly and I got together and rehearsed for our service, the service this morning. And so these past 3 days, at that afternoon rehearsal, Charly asked me, what's the name of the new song? And I hadn't gotten that far. I didn't listen. So anyway, then Friday and Saturday, I was trying to think of a song, and I couldn't quite figure it out. So riding my bike in this morning, a title occurred to me, and it totally ties in with what Anne is saying about treating life with love, and it comes from Coleman Barks' translation of a Rumi poem, and it's called "Say Yes Quickly."
Wow.